Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies, man. I got to touch on the Jameis Winston situation because it's kind of getting out of control. The narrative that's being pushed around, the way the fans are thinking, just a lot of things going on. I'm just going to touch on a couple, and I'm just going to start off with, man, once you learn that the NFL is a business and you get your feelings out of this, it'll go a lot easier for you. A lot of people saying the Saints are doing Jameis Winston wrong. The Saints are doing this. The Saints are doing that. Look, this is a business, man. Jameis Winston has to do what's best for Jameis Winston, and the Saints have to do what's best for the Saints. If those things align and they're on the same terms, and it's just so happens that the Saints' best plan is to get Jameis Winston, and Jameis Winston's best plan is to play for the Saints, then great. And if not, get out your feelings, man. This is not I love him, I want him to play, or this is my favorite play. It doesn't work like that. If it did, then the entire team will look different. Right now, the Saints feel the best, situation going forward is to go after Deshaun Watson. I'm going to say I agree with them on that. However, obviously a lot of people want Jameis Winston, and they feel like we're doing Jameis Winston wrong. How are we doing him wrong? Let me just ask y'all that straightforward. How are we doing Jameis Winston wrong? He played 6.5 games for the Saints. He's not a Saints legend. He's no Drew Brees. He's no this. He's no that. He's played 6.5 games, man. Stop pretending he came in here and set the world on fire for 7 weeks and was the best player in NFL history. I love Jameis, but he was not that. Let's stop pretending. Let's stop lying to ourselves. Also, let's stop pretending that Jameis Winston has 31 offers from other teams on the table, because that's just not the case. It's maybe 1 or 2 teams where he can go to and compete for a starting job. So let's not pretend that the Saints are holding him hostage and he's missing out on opportunities. The only place he can realistically go right now as teams are constructed would be the Saints, maybe the Colts, and that's about it. Every other team is probably set at quarterback. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get traded. That may take a spot. The Seattle may want to upgrade. That may open up a spot. The Browns may, trade Baker Mayfield. That's going to take a spot away, but it's going to open up the Browns. But let's not pretend it's just situations everywhere that, he's can go to. That's just not the case. It's probably best for Jameis Winston to wait until this Watson news go down, because obviously if Watson goes to Atlanta, then bam, it's super easy for him. Jameis Winston can be a Saint. No harm, no foul. That just is what it is, man. If you're not a tier 1 guy, you have to wait until the other guys, fall into place. That's just how it goes. Teron Armstead's waiting on Watson, and there's probably a lot of other free agents, receivers, and things like that that's waiting on the Watson news. So please, people, especially the ones in my Twitter mentions, stop crying about the Saints doing Jameis Winston wrong. The Saints aren't doing Jameis Winston anything. They are not holding him hostage. They are not forcing him to not sign with anybody. He's just sitting and waiting like everybody else. Nothing wrong with that. He doesn't have to do that. He's coming off an ACL injury. Obviously, that's a big injury for a quarterback. And maybe he's just trying to rehab, get to the best version of himself, and he's just weighing his options. Maybe he has offers on the table. I do not know. Maybe the Saints offered him a deal. I do not know. But both sides are doing what's best for them, and you have to leave it at that. This man is 28 years old. Stop acting like he's a 16-year-old kid that the Saints are just, being predatory towards and making him wait and do this and do that. This is a grown man. A grown man. Stop trying to baby him and acting like he's some, the next coming of whatever. He's a grown man. And I like Jameis Winston. And if Watson's not the quarterback, I would love for Jameis Winston to be the quarterback. But you have to take into consideration, man, that Teron Armstead, maybe he doesn't come back if Jameis Winston's the quarterback. Maybe he wants to take a big payday, if Jameis Winston's the quarterback. And if Deshaun Watson's the quarterback, maybe he'll work something out with the Saints. Who knows how, everything's going to play out. So you can't just think this is a Watson versus Jameis Winston or a Saints versus Jameis Winston situation. This is much deeper than that. Obviously, this is a franchise-altering player in Deshaun Watson. I won't say that's the same for Jameis Winston. And if you think that, need to get a little reality check in you. Jameis Winston has potential because obviously he didn't get developed right in Tampa Bay. But don't pretend he's sitting there like the next coming of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, any of those guys, because that's just not the case. He's a nice stopgap quarterback while you're trying to figure out if you're going to, find a franchise guy. But let's stop pretending once again that the Saints are doing wrong by him, because they're not. I promise you they're not. After all this is over, if Jameis Winston, the Saints quarterback, won, I'm confident that they still can put the pieces around him and the players around him that the Saints can compete for a Super Bowl if everyone's healthy. Because obviously last year He didn't get a fair shot with, obviously getting hurt didn't help. Offensive line being hurt didn't help. Didn't have a number one receiver the entire year. Didn't help. Sean Payton didn't trust him. Didn't help. I get all of these things. So if he comes back and all of these things are reversed, obviously he has a shot to be that guy. But until then, he hasn't proven anything. So let's stop pretending, he's proven everything and we need to lock him up for the immediate future. That's just not the case. Love Winston. If he's our quarterback, I'm rocking with him. But until then, let's just everybody relax. I know this Watson news have everyone tense and things like that, but let's just relax. It's going to play out how it's going to play out. None of us can control this but Deshaun Watson, unfortunately, and that just is what it is. But let me know what y'all think, man. How the Saints are treating Jameis Winston. If you think they're treating him harsh or unfair, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well. But as always, once again, man, it's the Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.